Everyone, welcome back from the E3 2021 hype train. It's good to be off this train. Just like any roller coaster ride, there's always an up and then there's a way bottom where you're almost by the ground. You can taste the dirt that's flying into your mouth. But I am your host today. My name is Juicy Samples.
I'm IDK.
And I'm Kagros.
Thank you for catching us here on Twitch. If you can't catch us on Twitch, you can check us out on YouTube under Thumbstick Adventurers. So let's just begin. I really want to start this by going over the bets that we had 2 weeks ago. These fine gentlemen wagered tons of money, and let's see who is on top. So I don't think we have this on the stream, but I'm just gonna.
Let me throw it up on the stream. Give me 1 second.
Oh, perfect.
Throw it up on the stream. Let's see here. Hopefully, I don't show. I'm gonna show something. Window capture. All right, there it is. It's on the stream now.
Perfect. And you see all the colors,
Yes.
but not to confuse you. So we'll just go by one. First one was, will we see a Keyblade? Gentlemen, were you guys disappointed that we didn't see any Keyblades this E3?
I was absolutely very, very disappointed. That's why I voted yes. Right. But
I was
go ahead, IDK. Go ahead.
I was shocked. Honestly shocked. I figured they would have included something, anything,
Yeah.
but they didn't.
Yep.
So
And in this case, IDK got the juicy 600.
I did do some research about this, and it turns out that frick, what's his name? Nomura actually said that there will be no more Kingdom Hearts announcements this year. You'll have to wait for next year.
Interesting.
Oh.
Before E3
A
or
while
during
ago.
E3?
It was sometime this year. A couple months ago. I should have listened. I did not know he had said that. If he had not said that, then I would not have voted.
Should have done your research.
I can't do the research, man. The questions aren't here, dude. Like they. Never mind.
That's true. That's true.
Mind.
Bet number 2. Will we hear an apology for Halo Infinite? Kagros, you're absolutely correct that they did not apologize. Of course, they will not apologize for their mistakes of not releasing on the same time the new consoles came out. What a shame. I'm still very, very pessimistic about Halo Infinite now, even though after E3 they actually had a good showing. Like they showed off the multiplayer, but the story, I don't know, man. The story's gonna have to be delayed for another 3 years.
No one cares about the story, man. They just care about the multiplayer.
Or some would say infinity. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Bet number 3. Oh, IDK. I felt you on this one. Will we see a release date on Final Fantasy 16?
You fools. Fools. I was telling you guys last episode. There is no way they're showing a release date for this game. There is no way. You guys set your expectations up here, all the way up here. You can't even see that on the screen.
It's called Hope. I had hope Square Enix would deliver. Unfortunately,
Square Enix?
like their press conference, it did not deliver.
Square Enix?
I was disappointed. Not even a little announcement for the Final Fantasy games. That's just garbage.
Square Enix. You mean the whale factory over there? You know, the whale milking factory? Come on, man. Come on.
You mean the Keyblade generating facility?
You trust
Did not
those
see
guys,
anything.
all they do is crunch out remakes and all. Oh, come on, man. Come on.
When I created this bet, it was part bait, but part dreams as well. So I'm equally as satisfied.
IDK got jabaited. Hard.
Debated real hard. Another bait that I thought someone would take is bet number 4. Will we hear game characters say Persona? You all were very smart, did not catch the bait. IDK actually won that one with 100. Oh, sorry. So bet number 2 and bet number 3, Kagros got both of them. He's in the lead. And after bet 4, Kagros has 1100. IDK has 700. Number 5, will Desmond look you straight in the eyes? Of course not. Assassin's Creed is dead.
No, I mean,
No,
they didn't show anything because, I mean, they did release a game last year, right? So it's not like they have anything to show anyway.
They just
very
showed
true.
DLC
Yeah.
for that game, but it doesn't have anything to do with Desmond.
Like I
And
said,
then-
Desmond dead, but not really.
Bet number 6, will rabbits invade our screen? And IDK, during E3, he's like, I got this one. Thank goodness rabbits came on screen. And then we had to check the tapes. And IDK said no.
And rabbits ravenously.
This was surprising. I was very surprised. Very, very surprised that this is actually marked in green. That this is, yes, they actually did. I'm very surprised.
So was I. I didn't expect another Mario Rabbids collab, but I did imagine seeing some sort of, Rabbids mobile game or something. Who knows? But I was pleasantly surprised. Bet number 7, Kagros is such a gentleman at throwing some coin for the house. Will a fat man run onto the stage at Ubisoft Forward? I believe there was no stage, so it's an easy no. Bet number 8, will we see a brand new Pokemon? IDK, you came up on top with saying no. Any thoughts about this?
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. For sure.
I mean, I thought it might be a possibility, but with the remakes and with that one new console game they're making, it didn't seem like they'd have any more in the tank to pull out for E3. So, unfortunately, it didn't happen.
I'm glad I didn't countervote you here.
If Pokemon came, yeah.
We when we were talking about it, we discussed it a lot because we were like, I wanted to get the definition down straight, right? And you guys included new forms of Pokemon as considered brand new Pokemon, and that almost got me. I forgot what I said, but I was like, if they show Pokemon, like this is going to be a yes for sure because they're going to show a different form basically. So, yeah, I'm actually surprised this is a no. But the thing is, because they didn't show Pokemon at all. I would have thought they would have shown something for the Diamond Pearl remake, but I guess they're saving it for later.
Yeah. I think at this point, Pokemon will always have their own direct.
Yeah.
Which is, makes sense. Bet number 9, will Batman throw any batarangs? No. Surprisingly, no. I thought this was, I don't know. I kind of had some dreams. I thought we were gonna see some more previews of the DC games with was it the Suicide Squad and the Gotham Knights, but nothing, not a peep.
No, it was very disappointing. I think it's because when we made these predictions, I wasn't fully aware of the scope of what was happening with Warner and AT&T. I didn't realize exactly that all those studios were either being bought out by AT&T or being scrapped. So all those games are basically up in the air. The only one that Warner Bros. Is still keeping is Left 4 Blood?
Back 4 Blood.
Back 4 Blood, yeah. That's the only one they presented at E3. That's it. All the rest of the games just disappeared. And their future is unknown.
Yeah.
Which is really unfortunate.
It's scary. I hope those games come out. Bet number 10, will we hear Fuss Roda? We didn't hear it, but I'm sure IDK heard it in his heart when you saw Skyrim.
I saw Skyrim and I got so excited, and then they didn't play the trailer, and I got pissed.
So I knew Skyrim would show up, or I felt like Skyrim would show up, so that's why I made this bet a little more difficult. And I'm glad someone took the bait. So I'm sorry, IDK. Bet number 11, will Nintendo be referenced at Xbox Showcase? I went through the tapes. No one put any bets. And then the Xbox Showcase, they didn't mention anything of Nintendo or nothing that showcased any Nintendo-related games. So That's a no. Bet number 12, where we see a close up of Chun-Li's thighs. How'd you feel about that? Did you tune into Capcom?
No, I did not. I didn't. I actually the only one I watched was Nintendo, but I didn't hear anything about Street Fighter. So yeah, I just like with that. No more Chun-Li.
Yeah, that was. Yeah, that one. If I'd known that Capcom had posted the week before that their announcement was just going to be focused on Village, Monster Hunter, Ace Attorney, and then their esports. So technically, Street Fighter could have had something there, but they didn't. It was just all live action stuff, just the players talking about the Pro League, and that's it. That's it. No announcement from. No Street Fighter 6, no last character for Street Fighter 5.
Yeah.
And thinking about it, thinking back on it, I should have realized since it's only a Sony game, it'll probably be saved for a Sony press conference.
Is a Sony game? What do you mean?
Capcom.
Street Fighter 5 is Sony only.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's PlayStation and PC, I think. Think. Yeah. It's not on Xbox.
So Kagros, during their esports section, they were showcasing a lot of like matches of like real matches.
Yeah.
I was looking so hard for Chun-Li, and it seems like Chun-Li is not in the meta right now. So I'm sorry, Kagros. Because at least like they could have had
right. If you did Ultra, maybe
exactly. You know, I was just waiting for that super. Try to see them legs. None of that.
Damn,
so
dude, they didn't debug Chun-Li.
He lost his pointers.
All of Chun-Li's her what is it? Her all of her strength is just in marketing, right? It's just the marketing, dude. That's what she's good at. The actual.
At least show me a box art.
IDK's got the Chun-Li poster in his room. He's got the classic Chun-Li poster in his room.
Oh yes. More than just thighs. Yeah. Alright. Bet 13. Will the next Nintendo console contain the word new or pro? IDK, I'm just as disappointed as you.
This is
you voted yes.
Why was I forsaken?
That was ridiculous. We already know that they have a new Switch coming. It was leaked already. Why didn't they show it off at E3? What?
Because it was leaked. Because they were mad. They were mad it was leaked. So before their press conference, they're like, this is strictly a software-only press conference with games only. No hardware.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the hardware is going to be tied with Breath of the Wild. And, you know, they need to have all those chips ready before they can make those consoles. Bet number 14 was my pipe dream. Will we hear Snake? We didn't hear Snake, which Kagros got correctly, but we did get references of Snake. So apparently in the Death Stranding preview trailer, you see the main character hide in the box, just like what Snake does in the video game. But no, you didn't hear Snake. It was a little sad. And then bet number 15, will Sony announce a new game? I think this one is the most debatable one, but, you know, right when the Summer Games Fest show came on, you know, Kagros texting on the side like, oh, Sony just announced a new game, like, blah, blah, blah. I was like, maybe, we gotta check the tapes. And you're like, nah, they announced a new game. And that's it. All right, I mean, you're gonna lose this bet. And then Kagros like, what? What do you mean? I need to check my own tapes. And sure enough, IDK is the one who won this bet. But this was kind of a throwaway bet since, you know, these fine gentlemen still had a lot of chips on the table. They didn't wager everything. So, you know, next time, we'll do it better. But I'm very glad to announce a winner by a difference of 100 puntos. Kagros is your winner of E3 2021. He gets to sit in first class of the hype train, gets to experience all the highs and lows of this year's E3 madness.
We can tell the viewers what we bet. Did we say what we bet on the episode last
yeah.
time?
Yes. So the winner gets bottomless shrimp from Red Lobster.
Yes.
Courtesy of IDK's wallet. So
don't worry,
thank you,
only
IDK.
$20. It's only $20. It's only $20.
But yeah, I'm excited for next year. You know, like we'll talk all about the announcements, at least the noticeable announcements and lack of announcements for this year. But yeah, this year's bets were pretty fun. I'll make sure to come up with some new bets next year and maybe throw in a little twist here and there. So other than that, thank you for playing this silly game. Let's talk about post E3. I think so. Kagros said that the only show that he watched this year was the Nintendo Direct. So let's start there because Nintendo pretty much closed E3. So how did everyone feel about that?
I think the general consensus is that Nintendo won E3, right? They had the better presentation. Do you guys agree?
I will be the contrarian here and say actually Nintendo had a very good presentation. Like, it was honestly my personal favorite. But in terms of scope, in terms of games announced, and in terms of quality, I think Microsoft edges them out. Because, and this is the argument that I've been reading online. It's because Nintendo hit a lot of fans who haven't been touched in a while. Advance Wars, WarioWare, Metroid Dread, like all the fan bases of those genres or those franchises are very happy. But for a lot of the more traditional Nintendo fans, there wasn't a ton there for them to get excited about. And there was even some stuff people didn't like the new Mario Party game that has only 5 boards. Like, yeah, they're N64 classic boards, but there's only 5. Why isn't there 7 or 8? Whereas Microsoft had a ton of games, they covered a ton of genres, hit all of their fan bases pretty much, with the exception of like Gears of War.
I mean, to be honest with you, I think Nintendo has a much bigger, a more diverse fan base than Microsoft does.
This is true, and they have a lot more. They have a lot more studios, a lot more money, and you gotta give credit to Microsoft too. They actually paid all the licensing fees for all the music in their games, so that they could show the games with their proper music at E3. So it's debatable to go either way, but I do favor Microsoft in that argument. But I really enjoyed Nintendo's more, mainly because I am a fan of those niche franchises that got some love finally.
All right. So
Yeah.
Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I agree with Nintendo being one of the top events of this year, but I actually think top 3 are Nintendo, Microsoft, and December Game Fest. And it's nice that they were spread out throughout the week. So you weren't always going down this roller coaster ride. You get to go back up a bit. But I don't know. I actually, after watching Microsoft, I was really intrigued not only by the games that they announced, but by the console too, just because everything's on Game Pass. And Game Pass is so cheap. If I had all the time in the world and didn't have a job, I'd be playing Xbox all day. But yeah, let's talk more about Nintendo. You both mentioned about the new games that they came out. I heard Advance Wars, which I actually didn't grow up with. So I wanna hear more about Advance Wars from anyone.
All right, I guess we'll go for Advance Wars first. So I don't know if I'm sure that whoever's watching, they probably listen to my personal favorite episode is from our podcast is the music episode where we listen to iconic music, and then we also listed iconic music for each of us, right? And one of the songs I picked was Sammy's theme from Advance Wars. Well, now Nintendo has confirmed that the song is indeed iconic because that was the song that was playing for the Advance Wars trailer that used Sammy's theme.
Nice.
So that's a win for me. But I don't know. I think it's cool that we're getting a remake, and they did rebuild it from the ground up. But I don't see any real changes to the gameplay to get me excited about it. It's just, hey, it's Advance Wars 1 and 2 remake. Like, it's great and all, but
So is it confirmed that it's a remake?
yes,
I actually don't know what it is.
yes, it's
it's a remake.
It's a complete remake. It's a complete
Yeah.
remake, but everything looks like it's going to be the same from 1 and 2. I'm really interested to see how they're going to remix the music because I also really enjoy Advance Wars music, but I don't think Advance Wars. It might still have the same, the like the same effect that it did 20 years ago because the Switch is portable. And I think one of the great things about Advance Wars is that you could play with a bunch of friends with just one console and one game. As long as you guys are all in the same room, you just pass a console around. It was perfect for I was like a junior high, high school kid, and like at lunch we would just say, all right, who's got a Game Boy, who's got the Advance Wars, all right, fire it up, let's and then we just pass the game around as we ate lunch, right, and then like trying to find that one asshole who just skipped everyone's turn and then took another turn. There's always an asshole like that, but yeah, there is this strength with the Switch, but I think that's the only reason why Advance Wars was so good. Nowadays, you can play online and everything, so it's not really the same. Like just being the ability to pass a game, console around with one game, with multiple people playing, isn't as it's not as glamorous as it used to be.
Yeah, like that's what you're nostalgic for.
Yes, yes.
In a sense, but not. I don't think any game can really recapture that anymore.
Yeah. What about you, IDK? What do you think about Advance Wars?
Because I was stuck at work during the original, what would you call it? The original announcements. So I was just refreshing a Reddit tab, and when I saw Advance Wars rebooted pop up, I think my eyeballs burst out of my brain. I had to put them back. I'm like, what? Are you joking me? This was after I'd heard about Metroid Dread, and I had lost my eyeballs about that too. I was like, they actually mentioned Advance Wars? What is this? And look, I actually watched the trailer for it without audio. And watching it kind of simmered down my expectations a little bit because the art style is so weird. I thought it looked okay.
Mm-hmm.
And when I found out it was a remake of 1 and 2, not a new game, it was called Rebooted. But I was like, oh, okay, this will be interesting. They didn't show anything from 2. They only showed like 1 character sprites. And
that is actually true now I think about it. They didn't show any of the characters from
2.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see if they take the reaction to the art style into effect and change it up a bit. My initial reaction was the plasticky looking troops were kind of off-putting. But then I started reading about people saying it looked more like little army men. Yeah. It's going for like more of a toy style. It's up in the air. But the fact that Advance Wars is actually being mentioned and talked about is what made me happy. And then when I watched the trailer again at home with the music and I heard it, I'm like, yeah, that capturing a building, do it. Super excited. I'm a little sad that it's going to be so expensive. $60 for 2 old GBA games remade onto the Switch. They have to put a lot of value into it. Like, this thing better run super well. They better clean up the art style a little bit. They better add everything in from the original releases plus more. And they better bug fix a ton of shit. It's like, there's some interesting bugs in 2 that can really, make you go crazy with the game. So hopefully they fix that. But otherwise, I'm happy it's there. I'll be happy to support it eventually.
Would you guys be happier if this were not a remake, but just something else? Because
absolutely.
My impression was that I thought the game would be something more akin to like Fire Emblem, Three Houses, in a way. Like I don't know if Three Houses revolutionized Fire Emblem in any way, but I was kind of hoping that it would have that sort of treatment. Yeah, what do you guys think?
Go ahead.
I was gonna say this feels like they're doing just a repeat with what they did with the. I feel like there's just gonna be a repeat of what they did with Metroid, where they did Samus Returns, and that was like a remake, and it did well. So then they went forward with Dread. I feel like if 1 and 2 reboot does decently well enough, or generates enough interest, they will push forward with a. I'm not sure what it would be called. Advance Wars 3. Technically, that's Dual Strike.
Dual Strike is 3.
So 4. But then there's Days of Ruin, which I guess they're just going to completely ignore because it did so poorly. So I guess Advance Wars 5. Or just call it something else. Like,
just
none of them actually.
Advance Wars. There's going to be no numbers. Advance Wars, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, Advance Wars, blah, blah. And see what they do from there. But the key point, though, with this remake is it's being made by Way Forward. Or Waypoint Studios or whatever. It's not the original Intelligent Systems. So if they were going to make a true sequel, I would want to go back to Intelligent Systems to make it.
So just to clarify, so Three Houses, wouldn't say revolutionized a Fire Emblem. I think Three Houses, it was ambitious. It was an ambitious way to change up the formula for Fire Emblem. Like, if you want to talk like revolutionizing, I think Fire Emblem Awakening revolutionized Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem Awakening literally saved the Fire Emblem franchise. And that definitely was, that game revolutionized Fire Emblem. But Three Houses was kind of an experiment, and I think it was actually a pretty good experiment. It definitely did some things really well, but also did some things very poorly. Like the story. The story. Anyway.
Just pick the better route.
That main character. Life's boring.
Anyway, so I would have preferred, a full-on game, and that kind of I also want to talk about this with you guys too, about remakes. So I actually really hate remakes. I think they're just a cash grab, and like you could spend that time. I understand it also takes less time to spend up to release a remake, but I think that energy would probably be spent just developing a new game. Like, if you're gonna go through the trouble of remaking a game, and then like their justification for it probably like, oh, we just want to test the waters to see if anyone's interested in it, then we don't want to, like, just go release the full game then. Like, if you really think that people are gonna, then just go release a full game like that. Like, I just don't like remakes. I think remakes are just a way they're just cash grabs for a company to cash on nostalgia. Because remakes without anything new added to the game, like, cool, you can redo all the graphics and everything, but at the core, it's still the same game. There's nothing new to it. So, like, I don't know. They're great for getting in new fans, but for existing fans, remakes are in my opinion, I think they're generally worthless.
Yeah, I think honestly I can't think of any bad remakes. Like, the only bad remake that's coming up, I would say it's not worth it, is probably the new Pokemon games.
Right? Actually, the Pokemon remakes are generally, I think for remakes, they're good. They're actually pretty value-packed. Because Pokemon remakes, they actually do add a ton of new things into the game. It's not like a complete... Like, I would say Final Fantasy VII is actually a good remake, despite of my thoughts on Square Enix and just Final Fantasy, the slow-rolling Final Fantasy VII. I think the remake is actually good because, like you guys said, right, they changed the story a little bit, right? It's going to change. They do change some things, but, like, Advance Wars, like, it's just, they're changing. There's not really a change. I would say, like, Tony Hawk, Resident Evil 2 and 3 remakes, they update, great, you update the graphics. Okay, good for you. What else is there? No, there's nothing else. So I actually say the Pokemon remakes, I know we're all sick of Pokemon games in general, so I think that's also, we do have a slight bias. But, like, if you just look at it pretty objectively, Pokemon remakes, actually, they add in a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the original game. And for that, like, it's definitely a cash grab by the Pokemon Company to do these remakes, right? Don't get me wrong there. But they do add new things. And they actually modernize those games. Like we said before, like, Heart Gold, Soul Silver is the best Pokemon game. Right? It is the best Pokemon. And that's a remake. But they just added, like, they took an already great game, which arguably is number 2 on our list, right? And they improved it. They modernized it and they added a bunch of stuff into the game to make it better. So I would say that Pokemon remakes are actually pretty decent in my opinion, but just by the definition alone.
Yeah, and with remakes and with new revivals of a forgotten series, I've heard the series mentioned. Metroid. Is anyone excited for this new game?
I'm just gonna let IDK talk.
I am super excited about this. That's why I went super hard and super bet in our league to get it.
How much did
Well
you
played.
bet on it? How much?
I put 43 down.
Oh my gosh. Jeez.
Because Sunstone said she was going to bet on it, and I was like, she only has one game slot left. She has $42 left. I got to beat her guaranteed. So I put 43, and then she turns out she couldn't find it and couldn't bet on it.
To be fair here. So first of all, Juicy also bet on it anyway, right? So it's not like had she not bet, then I understand the knowledge, but if she had bet on it, she probably would have bet the 442 anyway, and then she would have ended up losing, and she would still have 42 now. So I think like she wanted to bet on it anyway. She wouldn't have won, considering what you bid anyway. So I think and Juicy was still in the running anyway. Maybe you could have lowered it or changed it if you knew.
I had debated that the fact that she still had one drop, so she could have dropped a game and then saved some money to bet for that. But for me as a Metroid fan, I was willing to pay the price because Metroid Dread, I heard about it back when I was playing Fusion. I heard that there was a game called Metroid Dread in the works, and then it got canceled, and I was heartbroken and cried for days. And for it to pop up like this was insane. I couldn't believe it. I thought they were trolling us. There's no Metroid Prime 4 information to share. Of course, life is suffering. But there's a new Metroid game to show you. Dread. I almost had a heart attack. I could not believe it.
So when I saw the trailer, I was super hyped because this is the first time Metroid's coming back in a very long time. Excluding the weird game that came out on the Wii. We don't count that.
Don't even bring it up. Don't even bring that thing up.
And I was on the hype. I was on the hype train for that. But then I had a very sobering moment, and I think Kagros can help kind of explain that sobering thought. I share the same thoughts as you, Kagros.
Okay. So IDK, I know you are blinded by nostalgic goggles, and you are hungry for new Metroid content.
Hungry.
You are very.
I'm starving.
You bottomless shrimp. Hungry.
No. He is a lost wanderer in the middle of the desert looking for water, and finally, after years and years of wandering, he has found that one drop of water, and it means the world to him.
Nirvana.
But I think Metroid Prime, it looks very dated.
Or Metroid
Dread.
It looks very, very dated. The graphics look terrible in my opinion, and it feels like they're just pushing out. It's like this game has been in development for how long?
No
idea. The ideas for Dread start all the way back in 2008. Before that, probably, because Fusion was like 2005. So by 8, there was rumblings about it, and then by 10, we found out it was canceled, and then laid dormant, right, practically iceboxed until probably 17, 18.
So
I started working on it.
I think they're using old assets to develop this game.
Well, I definitely think they're taking their base from Samus Returns. They use that as a platform to test the waters, and they're taking everything they learned from that and adding it to this game. You're right. The graphics do look a little iffish. A little.
I don't know about little, dude. Like, I was watching, I'm like, dude, this graphic looks like it's a 5-year-old game, dude. At least a 5-year-old game.
The thing is, there's a lot. It's a dark, sort of empty station looking thing. There isn't very much bright color right now. I haven't seen the full game. You know, at the end of the day, if the biggest criticism is that the color palette's a little washed out, fine. Is the gameplay good? Is the story okay? I'll take it. I'll take it. I'll take anything.
The story. I don't know if you're gonna get story in this game. This game, I think it looks like it was designed. I think this style of game. I think it's just probably because it's the style of the game. It looks like it was made for like an arcade. It looks like an arcade game. Like a game.
It's Metroid. It's a Metroid. There's gonna be a Metroidvania.
Yep.
So, the creator, what was his name? Not Sakaguchi, Shinobu, whatever his name is. The guy who made Metroid basically stated this is the final game of the Metroid saga.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
This will put to end all the Metroid stuff and then set the stage for a new saga in the Metroid franchise. What that means, nobody knows because it's called Metroid for a reason. Will it change to some new name? I don't know. But it's exciting to me because it means growth, whatever that is. It means change for a franchise that's sometimes laid dormant, sometimes been alive over the past 20 years.
Metroid is like your fifth child who has gone to rehab. And you're like, oh fuck, that kid just went to rehab. Fuck it, I have 4 other kids to be proud of. And they come back and they're doing as best as they can. And you're like, yeah, I want you to succeed. I remember your prime, before you went before you went to rehab. And now I just want you to do as best you can.
And now she has returned. She has brought her grace to us once more.
I believe Dread will not do as well, but I'm there to support Dread. I will be there day one. I love Metroidvania type games, but this game, I feel like it ain't gonna cut it. The art style. Okay, first of all, Metroid, why you gotta be white and blue? You just sticking out like a sore thumb. Like, pick.
Her outfit is red. It's like blue, right? But she still has got the red helmet. What the hell?
It's the story. You gotta follow the continuation of Fusion. The original suit was destroyed. She has a different suit now.
Why is her helmet still red, though? Why is her helmet still red?
Because it's iconic.
That's terrible, dude.
I know, but that's the way it is.
The thing is that I don't know. It's just the previews didn't strike me as, someone to be optimistic about the game, only because, like, it seems like the nemesis of the game is this robot, and it's not the same as Ripley.
I mean, there's multiple robots, and they're all gonna be different.
There's too many. Why are we having robots when I want some biological alien form to take over this planet?
They said it's the ending of the Metroid saga, so I'm sure Metroids will pop up eventually. We'll find out. It'll be okay. I have faith.
I personally feel so bad for IDK. He's getting ganged up on.
I don't care.
We're bullying him. We're bullying you.
Being a Metroid fan is suffering.
Imagine being an F-Zero fan.
No, I can't do that. I can't do that, man. That's just too rough. Mario Kart came in, ate your lunch, and that was curb stomping you every year.
So, speaking of games that look a little funky, what did you guys think about SMT5?
Oh, it's good. Oh, I can't wait.
I have mixed emotions towards the main character. I have conflicting feelings. I can't control.
Conflicting emotional, heart-beating feelings.
I am confused. I don't understand.
Doki?
Sean is confused. He hurt himself in his confusion.
So I also think the graphics don't look as good as Monster Hunter, right? I think the graphics SMT5 look a little dated as well, in my opinion.
True.
I think the gameplay looks looks great. I'm still gonna get it, but I also think that the graphics on this one look a little dated as well.
Yeah. The counterpoint to that is, take a look at Nocturne, the HD remake they just released. Mm-hmm. It looks, quite frankly, atrocious. It's ancient. This game kicks that thing, just blows it out of the water. I don't know what SMT4 or Apocalypse looked like. Those are on 3DS, right? Or DS?
Yeah, DS. Or no, 3DS.
It's so they're on like a handheld, so like their graphics weren't probably that great either. So, competing against other games, yeah, it's not the prettiest graphics, technically. But competing against itself, which is what I think is the most important aspect for this game to focus on, it looks really damn good. Gameplay looks pretty good. I'm sure
Yeah,
being SMT, it's going to have a lot of confusing things, but hopefully not as much as Nocturne has.
and to add on top of that, the Switch needs an upgrade. Whether it's a Switch Pro or the new Nintendo console, I'm ready. I'm ready to get better graphics, but still have the same handheld experience. Um, but yeah, I think SMT looks as good as it can be, especially on a console like a Switch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think I'm just starving for someone to say Persona. I'm just craving it. I'm thirsting.
So, on to another game this game I was very surprised with. Mario Golf. Dude, that game looks really good. I don't know about you guys, but the game looks amazing. I wish I did on it, dude. It looks... They have... Dude, who would... I don't know if they're spoken in Nintendo HQ, but who could have ever come up with the idea of Battle Golf?
You know, I hadn't realized that, but yeah, they actually did include a mode called Battle Golf, didn't they?
Yes.
I just ignored it in the trailer. I'm like, oh yeah, Battle Golf. Like it's like Mario Kart Battle Mode.
Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's Battle
You
Golf.
turned golf into a battle game? How did you do that? Like what? And they have the thing called speed golf too, where you just try to be the first one to get in the hole, and then like you whack the ball, you run after the ball. As you're running, you can knock other people out. You can just get the fuck right.
Is that not Battle Golf? What is Battle Golf?
Is also a different mode. It's also a different mode, but like speed golf it also has there's a little bit of battle element to it. But anyway, I think the game is very creative, and it looks good, and it's everything you would expect in like a Mario sports game. Because like I played Mario Tennis, Mario Strikers, and those things are like off the walls, like balls to the wall, like it's crazy, right? And I played Mario Golf on N64, right? And it's just a golf game. It was just a golf simulator basically, and then they basically put the Mario treatment on it, and now it's like Battle Golf, and they made it intense. That game I'm very surprised on. I think for sure easy 85. Easy 85.
It does look good. And for people like me who grew up with the N64 and the GameCube golf games, I absolutely love them to pieces. The fact we're getting a quality sequel to those games that's not stuck on like the DS or 3DS is very exciting. And will provoke many arguments over whether or not the ball should have gone in the hole. That motherfucking ball should have gone in. Son of a bitch, wind.
And speaking of Mario games, there was that Mario Party Superstar game.
I have no interest in Mario Party.
Yeah, like I mentioned, when I first saw it, I actually got pretty interested. I was like, oh, dang. This is like a DLC to Super Mario Party. And then it was a new game. I was like, what? Yeah. A whole new game just for 5 boards and 100 mini games? Like, please tell me you're going to have DLC for this, right? And input has been mixed from fans. You have people saying it's great, we're absolutely going to buy it because it's a brand new Mario Party game. And then you have other people who absolutely will not buy it because it should have been DLC for Super Mario Party. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And the fact that it's only 5 boards. But it seems like they did include a lot of the good N64 mini games in that top 100, just from looking at the big wall of like mini games they showed off. People freeze framed it and looked through them and found a bunch of good ones. So maybe they'll do well. I don't know.
I just want the one where you like have to do the analog stick on the N64. Ooh!
You want to get Joy-Con drift even worse?
I'm not interested in this game. Like, I bought Mario Party for the Switch and I sold it to my friend at a loss because I'm like, I don't have anyone to play with, and there's not that many boards, so I'm gonna get bored of this. So
There's 4 boards, and they're all pretty mediocre.
Yeah, this should have been DLC. This should have been DLC for the Mario.
It should have been
Nintendo
DLC.
just wanted to milk. They wanted to get their milk factory going and. Milk.
Well, that's what they've done with all their Mario Party games. Is a couple of years down the line, they release a new one, and you just accepted and bought it because there was no DLC. There was no downloading the GameCube. But this is the Switch now. You can do DLC boards, Nintendo.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You can sell these things in packs and bring back like an ultimate Super Mario Party. It's Sakurai on it.
Yep.
Yeah, this it just shows the greediness of Nintendo. I was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be DLC, and then, like you said, it's a separate game. It's not worth it. I love mini games, and that's why I buy Mario Party. So I would be tempted to buy this game, but out of principle, I can't. This would have been better served as DLC.
So speaking of DLC, what do you guys think about the opening of Nintendo Direct with was it Jin? No, Kari.
Kazuma?
Kazuya. There we go. Jin's dad.
Kazuya.
Jin's dad. Jin's dad. What do you guys think about that? What do you guys think about that inclusion?
It felt so out of left field, but at the same time, like when you think about it, Bandai Namco makes Tekken, so them getting another representative other than was it Pac-Man? No.
Mm-hmm.
Pac-Man is Namco. Yep.
Yeah. Pac-Man is like their one representative, so them finally getting another one makes sense. Why it was this guy instead of Jin or Heihachi? I mean, technically Heihachi as a Mii fighter.
He is in there.
Heihachi is a Mii fighter, but Kazuya is just strange. But
I think they picked Kazuya over Jin because Kazuya has the devil form.
Yeah, I do know that Kazuya.
Jin.
Oh, does Jin have devil form too?
Jin has it too, but I think the problem is Jin has been falling out of favor with fans, whereas Kazuya is still popular. So I think that's why they picked him. And of course, he has the iconic scene of dumping someone into a volcano, so they play that up for laughs.
Yeah, like Kirby OP, dude.
Hey, Sakurai wasn't gonna let his boy die. He'd have him live.
Dude, Smash Brothers is so good. It's just a good symbol of what fighting games should be. It has all the iconic fighting games, all the way from Street Fighter. Well, they don't have Mortal Kombat, so we'll wait on that. But they got Street Fighter. They have
Tekken now.
King of Fighters.
King of Fighters.
They have Tekken. Pretty sure I'm missing someone else. Am I missing anyone else?
Do they have Soul Calibur? No,
No.
Soul Calibur.
There's only three: Street Fighter, King of Fighters, and Tekken. The big three. And then it'd be really
Japanese
crazy.
Wise. Sure.
If they had Virtual Fighter, it'd be the big four. The thing is, I think this sums it up best. Kazuya making it in proves that anyone can get into Smash Brothers, which is both the greatest thing and the worst thing, because it means your character will never get in, because there's just too much competition for what can get in.
And speaking of getting in, you just can't play online right now.
Oh, yeah, but they actually, I think the reason why all these fighting games they let Nintendo do it is because they're pretty faithful to like the spirit of the character, right? Like, look how many moves! Look how many moves Kazuya has, dude.
Oh,
they showed up.
Kazuya has hundreds of moves in Tekken 7, and they're bringing over a ton of them for Smash.
Yeah.
And it's gonna end up being a scenario where like Hero from Dragon Quest, it's gonna be like certain people are gonna pick them up and learn them, and be absolute monsters, and everyone's gonna hate them for it because of their abilities.
Yeah, and then like when they put Ryu in first, right? Like they kept all his inputs too. You can play Ryu as if you're playing Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So
and Ken too.
Yeah, I think that's why a lot of these fighting game companies are like, oh hey, like let's get in Smash, right? Like they're gonna do a good job with the character, right? We're in good hands, and they might. I don't think they even consider like Smash competition for them, right? Like it's not like they consider it a competition because it's just Smash appeals to basically a different type of player, right? So
if anything, it's like If anything, it's more like free advertising.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure it's not free. I'm sure Nintendo pays a licensing fee for it. But, it's like, how many people got introduced to King of Fighters from Terry Bogard, Street Fighter from Ryu and Ken? How many people got introduced to Solid Snake from Smash when he got introduced? You think it's crazy, but honestly, my first introduction to Fire Emblem was from Smash.
I mean, I
With
think all of us were, right? All of us were from Melee, right?
Pretty much all of us.
Because Fire Emblem wasn't even in the States yet. And then...
It's like, it's a perfect place where, like, you get these characters and you're like, who the hell is this? And then you want to figure out more about them and maybe play their game if you like them.
Like, hey, I like Captain Falcon. Does he have a Falcon punch in his game? Nah. Could you imagine Falcon punching someone while you're driving a car? While you're playing F-Zero?
So much missed opportunity there to make a bounty hunter game about him with racing. But, it's Nintendo.
Yeah, speaking of missed opportunities, you see the picture on the stream right now.
Yeah.
Where's my Fox? Where's my Falco? Where they at? Where my boys at?
So what this actually reminds me of, another Wii U game got ported, and it's Silent Frame 7 or whatever, I think, for Wii U.
Fatal Frame?
Fatal Frame.
I'm like Silent Frame. Not Silent Hill, IDK, Fatal Frame.
Combine the two. It's perfect. No, Fatal Frame from Wii U got ported to the Switch. I don't really care that much about it in general, but there's one less game that's stuck on the Wii U. So I think as of now, it looks like Star Fox Zero might be the last game left stuck on there. And I have zero idea if they'll ever bring it to Switch.
I gotta say, though, speaking of Fatal Frame, it looks pretty sexy, dude.
Oh, yeah, it is. Yeah, they all are. They're all designed that way.
Alright, and I think we saved the best for last. Legend of Zelda. So, the most important information that we got from the stream wasn't actually the announcement of wasn't the trailer of Breath of the Wild 2. It's the fact that they don't have any festivities planned for the Legend of Zelda 35th anniversary. Their festivities was literally here at the Nintendo Direct where they announced the Game & Watch. The Game & Watch thing.
Skyward Sword HD, Game & Watch with the first 3 games. And that's it.
And the Breath of the Wild 2 trailer.
And then a sequel to the Breath of the Wild.
Yes, the sequel, yes.
I can't reveal the name yet because it might spoil the actual game. And it's saddening because it's just, they put so much love and care into Mario, and people were expecting that for Zelda. And we are very disappointed. Like,
let me ask you this: if we had the same thing as the Super Mario All-Stars for Switch, but for Zelda, where you have Ocarina, you have Majora, and let's say you throw in Zelda 2, what would you be happy?
No, so
also,
I think the 3 games it should be Ocarina, Majora's Mask, and then what was the one for Super Nintendo again? Link to the Past.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those 3, which have all of them have been remade, by the way.
Yeah.
Not for Ocarina, right?
Ocarina has been remade on the
3DS.
3DS. Same with Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
And then
But the problem with the Majora's Mask. Yeah, but the problem with the Majora's Mask 3DS remake is that it has slowdown. It has slowdown as a result of having to transfer it from one engine to another that they couldn't get around. If that were the announced bundle, like All-Stars, I would be disappointed because the only 3 games I would actually want to see in a Zelda All-Stars bundle would be Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker, and Twilight Princess.
I was gonna say Twilight, which actually Twilight makes sense as the 3rd game, but Wind Waker's on the Switch, right? Or no?
No, it's not.
Isn't it?
It's on Wii U.
Didn't they remake it?
They remade it for Wii U, and it hasn't been ported to the Switch yet, which is why people thought it was going to be the shoe-in. Skyward Sword HD, okay. Also, for the celebration, we're bringing Wind Waker from Wii U to Switch. Still haven't done it. So if I were to have this triple triad HD pack or whatever. There's this combo thing I could buy. It would be Ocarina of Time, with the Wind Waker port from Wii U to Switch, and then Twilight Princess. Now, I know, I'm leaving off Majora's Mask. I'm sorry, but it's not my favorite game, so I don't care.
Sorry, not sorry. Got it.
I mean, you could do. I mean, you could do a. Oh yeah, buy this, and we'll also include the Majora's Mask as well as a download. Boom, everyone's happy. 4 classic games brought to the Switch. Celebrate Zelda. One of them you already have on Wii U. You just port it to Switch. Ocarina of Time, I'm sure, would be a pain. Majora's Mask would be a pain. Twilight Princess was a Wii. Was on the Wii, so it shouldn't be hard to port from Wii to Switch. I don't know.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm just a little disappointed there was no 35th anniversary celebration for Zelda, because I think Zelda is definitely one of their best franchises for sure. But the Breath of the Wild 2, this is another topic I want to bring up too. We have not had a direct sequel to any Zelda game in a long time. The last one, which I don't even consider to be even worth mentioning in my opinion, is Phantom Hourglass. And then the next game to be released was Spirit Tracks, which was technically a direct sequel to the Phantom Hourglass. Was it actually? Did you guys play both of those games?
I did.
Is Spirit Tracks actually a direct sequel to Phantom? I know on the chronological they're right next to each other, but is it actually a sequel? Like in terms of the story, like is it the same character?
I'm pretty sure it was. Like I could have sworn there was a reference or two to the Phantom Hourglass in Spirit Tracks, but it's been so long.
Yeah, and then
but it's definitely. I'm pretty sure it's the same character though.
And then before that, it was Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, because obviously it's the same young Link. So this is the first time we've had a direct sequel. So Nintendo is really, they really do believe that fans really, really like the Breath of the Wild, and it looks like it's going to be a direct sequel, or it's going to feature the same Link basically. That's what I mean by direct sequel.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see what's going on. And I think I wasn't a big fan of Breath of the Wild. Like I said, Twilight Princess is my favorite. And I think there was basically no story in the Breath of the Wild. And everyone loved the open exploration, but I think the combat was crap. And they did really good world building, but I think Nintendo got lazy, in my opinion, for Breath of the Wild 2 or the sequel to Breath of the Wild, where they basically just we're gonna rehash it. We're not gonna take any risk here. We're just gonna rehash it. And for the new gimmick, we're gonna go to the sky. We're gonna go to the moon or whatever. I don't know. So I don't know. I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they phoned it in my opinion. But I mean, we need to see more of the game.
I really hope not. I think, like you said, what's really missing is a story.
Yeah.
So if they have some sort of like main storyline, and it helps you like stay focused and just like it tells you to get to point A to point B, and it has like decent dungeons. Yeah, I feel like that would be a good sequel.
Yeah. So I don't think they need to hold your hand like Breath of the Wild is really open, right? You can do in whatever order you want. I think that was fine, but like there just wasn't really any story to begin with. Like when you go, there are 4 dungeons. There are 4 dungeons and 4 bosses in each one, right? A boss in each one. And like when you do the individual dungeon, you learn the backstory of like one of your former companions, and that was kind of the story. But it seemed pretty loose. I think my problem with the story was really loose. Like there wasn't really a story. It's like, okay, go to the 4 places and go begin. And like if you compare it to like Twilight Princess, it was a lot different. And the story was about basically figuring out, like you were bonding with Mina, for example, right? And then like you go to Ocarina of Time, and there's a story. There's a very clear story there as well. So, yeah, I don't know. I hope they make a good game. I want them to make a good game, because I really do want to like Breath of the Wild. I do really do want to like the new game that's coming out. But right now, I'm just I just temper my expectations of what they're gonna do. All
You
right.
know, for me, yeah, just one last point with Breath of the Wild 2, since I drafted this in my fantasy league. I was just looking at the announce date, man. I didn't care about anything else. Like, sure, you're flying to the sky, great. Just show me the release date. Just make sure it's 2021. But no, alas, it escapes this year. Um,
Dude, next year,
one day,
it's gonna be stacked, dude. I think this year is the
yeah,
really weak year. We're halfway through the year. We have not had a single game that posted above a 90. Like
yeah,
just imagine that. Like even last year, within a month, we had already had a game post above a 90.
yeah.
Last year, right? In January, there was a game that released. I forgot which one it was. That it was already a 90.
I think it was Dreams.
Yeah. And like
Wait. We had a game go past 90 this year. Just none of us could pick it up because it was a remake.
remakes don't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
Remakes don't count.
Doesn't count.
Okay,
Yeah,
but still, the technicality. We didn't have it.
a new game. Talk about a new game like that.
I mean, it just
I don't
shows how
care
weak
about
the
you.
new
I don't
games
care
are,
about
though. That Mass Effect Legendary Edition got like a 93. It's like, this is the best we have to offer.
Oh, interesting.
I don't remakes don't. We literally in this episode we've already talked about how I don't care about remakes, right? They don't.
I mean, I know, but to counter your point, though, to be the devil's advocate, remakes that bring games that are trapped on old consoles or systems that are hard to get or are very expensive are good, in my opinion.
You know what? That's your
But-
fault. That if you weren't able to play the game when it was released, that's your fault for being poor.
I wasn't born when some games were released.
Hey, I don't want to gatekeep any potential, future gamers out there that can't.
That's your fault for being too poor, or not being old enough. That's your fault. That's on you.
Yeah, man, that's
Old
not-
man Kagros.
That's not cool. That's
Grandpa
not cool.
Kagros.
No gatekeeping.
One last question for Zelda. The 35th anniversary is that for last year, at least for Mario, did they announce it during E3? Because I feel like we still have a lot of time in this year, and we might get another direct that
No,
just
they actually said during the thing that they had no festivities planned for the Zelda's 35th. They explicitly said that.
Oh, I
Yeah.
see.
They said the Zelda festivities are over with this.
Yeah.
This is the end.
That's lame.
Yeah, it's really
It's
sad.
pretty weak.
I'm
Pretty weak.
I'm very surprised. Like it could have been a huge marketing opportunity. Like they could have had, the Zelda music is really good too, right? I mean,
Oh, so
yeah,
good.
right? So like they could have announced a concert tour. I know it's COVID. I think that's the reason why they didn't do it is because I think a lot of the money would have been made or the hype would have been in the concert tour, right? But the thing is, it's COVID, so they kind of have to axe that, but they still could have done, What would you guys think about a Netflix series about Ocarina of Time?
Like an anime series or like a
Or-
documentary?
No, like anime series or a live action Ocarina of
I'm super down.
Time.
Yeah.
Just like
I
Sonic.
think-
Come on, if Sonic can get it, then
I think it could be fine. I think it could work, so long as they're faithful. Don't make too many
They would have
changes,
to
yeah.
change a lot of things though. Like they would keep the main story the same, but there's no way you can fit 10 dungeons and 10 dungeons worth.
I mean, yeah, like within reason. Like, oh, this obviously works when you're playing a game. It doesn't work when you're telling a narrative story in this format. Just don't go crazy. Don't go too crazy changing things.
Anything else to add about the Nintendo Direct?
Nah.
I'm glad to see my boy Wario back, even though I've never really cared for WarioWare
yeah.
games.
I know.
I've
It's
always-
so fun.
I've
It's
always-
very fun.
I've always preferred. Okay, so I've played when you're on the WarioWare stage in Smash and you have to do the mini games to not get punished. I guess that's what it's like, but 10 times better in the actual game. So they're cool, they're interesting. Again,
Yeah.
as a fan of niche franchises, I'm glad another one got hit. So,
Yeah.
hooray.
I've never
Back then when I was sailing the high seas, I was playing WarioWare, and it's so fun. It's just a bunch of mini games that you're just playing, and you try to get as far as you can. That's all to it.
Yeah.
Very simple.
Well, I've never played WarioWare, but I have, I played Wario
Borderlands 4?
Wario Land 1. I think Wario Land, was it 4? 4 was the one in the like the Temple of the Tomb, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah,
That's the one I played.
Yeah, I played Warrior Land 1, Warrior Land 4.
All right, folks. We're gonna next stream is gonna be WarriorWare exclusive. We're gonna play some mini games on some Game Boy Advance legit emulation. So we'll play some of that because it's actually really fun. It's really fun.
It looks like it. But I think, is there anything else for Nintendo?
I think we covered it all. All right.
Yeah, I think that's everything.
So besides Nintendo, because we talked about Nintendo because that's the one the only one I watched. Are there any other announcements that you guys are excited for?
Elden Ring, baby.
That's the reason why next year is gonna be a bloodbath. I'm just telling you, it's gonna be a bloodbath. We're all gonna be fighting each other for a PS5. It's gonna be bloodshed out there. I'm really scared.
Was the trailer really that good?
I mean, I'm memeing this up, but
okay.
the fact that the last announcement for the game, what was it? What was it called? The Game Entertainment Show. There's not the awards.
Game Awards.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't Game Awards. It was that guy's show. And he's like hyping it up, like here is a trailer, like for this highly anticipated game. I can't believe I get to show you this. And everyone's like, what is it? What is it? And then it's like Elden Ring. And while I'm not a fan for Dark Souls games or Bloodborne or anything like that, seeing it real, seeing it look as good as it does, makes me very excited to watch someone play it and have a good time with it. I'll very happily watch someone stream that game and go through and have a great time. I will enjoy it passively through them.
And, I think it's also coming out to PC, right?
I believe so, yes.
Let me check.
So, it'll be very interesting. And, hopefully it's a new step forward for From Software beyond Dark Souls. Because it's an open world Dark Souls. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. Hopefully they can keep pushing forward and keep making better and better games.
Yeah, it's pretty much Breath of the Wild, Dark Souls. You have no story, a ton of lore. You're gonna be
but your weapons don't break. That's the most important thing. But that was pretty hype in my opinion. That was like the beginning of E3 too. So after that, I think one game that really caught me off guard in a negative way was Babylon's Fall, or Fall of Babylon, whatever it's called. The Platinumware game. And
I see.
like when we got the trailer for that like 2 years ago, it was like, oh shit, it's Platinum, and it's this really cool game about like Babylon. Like, what could this be about? And then we get the trailer for it, and the graphics are garbage. They're washed out, and it looks like it's a gas game. And I'm like, no, please don't do this. No. They're sending it out to die. And it just breaks my heart. Like an actual good single-player game focused on the history and mythology of Babylon would have been amazing. Instead, now we're getting something that looks like...
But it's made by Platinum, right?
Yeah, it's made by Platinum, but it's like... It's a multiplayer co-op, looter, dungeon crawler game, and it's gonna be a game as a service.
That's terrible.
So it's just it's Borderlands but with swords, and no one can get it right, or if they try to and they get an audience, but it's just a waste of an opportunity. So,
what other big announcements were there? I was just so blinded by Nintendo.
I wouldn't say they're big, but related to Dark Souls, there's that new Final Fantasy.
Strangers from Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins.
I believe it's Chaos of Chaos. That's the title of the game. But yeah, besides that, E3 was mostly about Elden Ring, the value of Game Pass, and Metroid Dread. But Metroid
Rapids.
Dread is it's a little iffy. I still think it's a little iffy. Time will tell.
Rabbits was a
Oh,
surprise.
Sure, Rabbits, yeah. Rabbit looks
Rabbits.
really good.
Rabbits really surprised me. I'm glad they're getting another chance to expand it and do more with that game series.
what do you guys think about Starfield?
Yeah.
You know,
There's a trailer.
Because the PS5 is so hard to get, I might just have to get an Xbox, It's just so hard. Man, watching that Microsoft event, it just makes me want to get an Xbox. It's just so much value. Like free games everywhere. You can play games all the time.
Yeah, Starfield was like, it's a CG trailer, and that's it. And they put the release date 11/11/22. Great. It's like a year and a half away.
Who wants to bet that that's gonna slip?
It's Bethesda.
Who wants to bet on it?
Do their games normally
Wait,
slip?
which game?
Starfield?
Oh,
Starfield?
Okay.
I don't know.
I didn't watch the trailer. I don't know anything about this, so I'm not sure.
Oh,
Well, the trailer is just like a CG trailer, so I actually don't know what the game's about.
Dude, that's pretty risky.
yeah.
That's pretty risky.
But I don't know. It looks the CG trailer looks nice, but what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Skyrim in space? Like what are they gonna give us? We just don't know yet. And after the fiasco of Cyberpunk 2077, you just gotta keep your expectations at bay. I do suppose the thing that makes it interesting is that all these Bethesda games, or a lot of them, are now going to be Xbox exclusives. Xbox and PC, anyways. So, a lot of Sony fanboys out there screaming, crying, wondering why their god has abandoned them. Todd Howard does not like you. Todd Howard only likes your money.
Yes.
And Microsoft has a lot of money.
So, what did you guys think? So, I'm gonna shout out Tonk here. Did you guys watch the Far Cry 6 trailer?
So, I
Partially.
did watch. I think I watched most of it. I watched the Ubisoft trailer first, which actually set up a very cinematic, very dark tale, and I thought it was actually pretty interesting. Far Cry normally does really good villains. And then I got kind of blindsided by who was it? Was it Microsoft? There was another trailer for Far Cry 6 on a different presentation that was just super, like, oh yeah, we're running around, we're shooting people, we're putting people on fire, like, it's crazy fun. And I'm like, this is a complete tonal shift from, like, the original trailer Ubisoft showed off, where it's a really dark, foreboding game touching on a really sensitive topic, and now they're just running around with jetpacks shooting people. Like,
I think that's like what Far Cry is though nowadays, is that it's trying to tell a compelling story, something that like pulls you politically or emotionally.
I mean,
But then they have this like bears eating your enemies or like something really silly.
I mean, I know, like, I watched people play through Far Cry 5 because I didn't want to pay for it. And I played Far Cry 4, which has a really dark story too, but then you get into gameplay and you can basically just, like, what is it? Hawks can attack you out of nowhere, and you can get attacked by a bear. And, like, it's zany, I get it. But it was weird that Ubisoft presented such a serious trailer, and then, like, Microsoft was like, here's gameplay. Running around, shooting people. That's Far Cry. Yeah, it is.
And of course,
I think it looks interesting though.
I'm actually pretty excited about the villain they cast.
Yeah, he looks pretty cool.
Giancarlo Esposito. He's from Breaking Bad and he's also from some niche series that I watched as well. So very good to see him. He's a great actor.
I like him a lot. Yes.
It is pretty cool. Oh, come on, Tong. Once upon a time, Xbox players had both Halo and Gears of War. They had okay stories. Come on, they had something at one point in time.
Yeah, Xbox
They're
players don't
suffering.
care about Halo right now. They don't care about story. Okay,
What
forget
about
it.
that Halo? We gotta bring it up. They're saying holiday release date. Phil, what's his name? Phil Spencer was on a podcast talking to some people, and they're actively targeting holiday, but they won't nail down a month. They won't specify a month. They do have weeks where they potentially want to release it, supposedly for this year.
It's because
And
it's slipping to January 1st, 2022.
the
Trying to make that
consensus,
New Year explosion.
the consensus seems to be they're waiting to see where Call of Duty is going to land.
Oh, that actually makes sense. Definitely.
Because they don't want them overlapping. They don't want Halo getting overshadowed. And they also really don't want Halo stepping on the toes of Battlefield 2042. Mm-hmm. Or Battlefield 6, is it now? I don't know.
But why not like lead the pack? Like why wait for Call of Duty when you can say we're releasing in October and October is our month?
Because Call of Duty, despite the fact that it's pretty garbage now, still has a ton of dedicated fans and people who are just going to straight up buy it and ignore everything else for like the week after it comes out. So they desperately want to avoid that. So as soon as Call of Duty announces their release date and like sticks to it, the Halo release date will come out, and it's going to be like 2 weeks afterwards.
So, yeah, I don't know.
The free multiplayer I'm excited about. The fact that they think we're going to pay $60 for a story campaign kind of makes me laugh. It better be like pretty decent, otherwise no one's going to buy the $60 game. But, you know.
I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
Unless you have something to say about Halo, sorry.
No, go ahead.
What do you guys think about Guardians of the Galaxy?
It looks really cool. The story looks really fascinating. I personally love the characters from that comic series, and I really like the movies, just because they're really fun. So I expect the same. I expect the story to be the same, same sort of like humor, and the story was like you get to have options, which I don't think it would make a big difference per se, but yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Gameplay wise, I'm still iffy. Like they're fighting a bunch of jellies, so like who knows who knows what the gameplay is gonna be like, but yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry, IDK, you can go first.
I was going to say I was initially very excited, and then as the trailer and gameplay demo kept wearing on, I'm like, when is this going to end? Like, when are they going to stop? Like, and move on to the next thing? It overstayed its welcome. I was actually pretty excited for it. I do think this is a case where not shelling out the money to have the licensed music you're going to have in the game actually playing in the trailer and gameplay was a big mistake on their part, because they're playing ads now on YouTube and on Twitch and wherever it has spammed with ads that show the actual trailer, actual gameplay footage, kind of the same stuff with the actual licensed music.
Cool.
And it's way better. Like the whole scene with fighting the jellies, the whole background is, I need a hero.
Interesting.
That classic like 70s, 80s song. And like it hits it so much better than whatever music they had in the trailer. Like it's that instant nostalgia pool that pulls you in. I like that they're not using the movie character representations. They're not trying to do like an Avengers where like, oh, it kind of looks like a ripoff Iron Man, or it kind of looks like a ripoff Captain America. It's like, no, these are separate people. This is like a separate cast of Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe they're more faithful to their comic book interpretations. I don't know. But I like them. And I like the banter. I think it'll be a decent game, provided they don't mess it up.
I was very afraid when they first announced it like a couple of weeks ago, right? I don't know when they originally announced it, but it was once again distributed by Square Enix. I'm like, oh god, it's gonna be another Marvel's Avengers. It's gonna be another garbage fire. But then, like after looking at it, obviously it's another completely different developer. First of all, right? And,
Yeah.
And you have like decision trees, right? Where like, hey, like I think in the trailer they're like, oh, you can sell Rocket, or you can do something else or something. I forgot what the other option was, but I'm like, don't sell off Rocket, man. What are you doing? Don't do it. Don't do it. I mean, I guess you can sell him off, and then he can break free on his own because he's a freaking loose cannon. But like, yeah, I don't know. I was very cautious about it, but after watching the trailer, I think it looks a lot better than definitely looked a lot better than Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah, that's for sure.
I think it gave me vibes of like Uncharted a little bit. Like
Yeah.
if they can pull off the same sort of like act structure and gameplay and feeling that Uncharted 2 had, I think it has a good chance to being a pretty good game.
I don't know about Uncharted 2. I don't know if you're going to be on a train moving that fast and shooting things. Uncharted 2's masterpiece.
I know. That's what they have to aim for. Don't aim for
Masterpiece.
Uncharted 1. Dodge Uncharted 1. That was good for the time, not now. But the Jelly Cubes, yeah, we're going to need to see some different enemy variety. The Jelly Cubes, uninspiring to say the least.
Mm-hmm. And to, wrap up the year of E3, can you guys share, like, what was the highest high that you guys had this year and the lowest low that you guys had?
In terms of video games, right?
Yeah, or just the entire week of E3.
Oh,
In terms of like what really shocked you and what really disappointed you.
Advance Wars definitely shocked me the most. I had,
Mm-hmm.
despite my feelings with remakes, I thought the franchise was dead for sure. Right, so that was definitely a huge surprise, and probably gonna get it anyway because probably gonna get it. I don't know. We'll see. But
Anything that disappointed you?
My expectations were really low to begin with. I think my biggest disappointment was probably the fact that we got nothing about Kingdom Hearts, and then eventually I learned that Mamoru said that there's no Kingdom Hearts for the rest of this year.
Mm.
I mean, but to be honest, like we had like a couple episodes. Actually, I don't even know if we aired it. Did we air it? I don't know. But like, remember we watched the KHUX finale, and then and then we were like, why did we do this?
What about you, IDK? Highs, lowest lows.
I mean, highest highs has got to be
Metroid, right?
Metroid Dread and Advance Wars. Those two just coming out of left field and being like, "Wake up, we're here. We gotta save the world." Like, oh my god, they're back. They're better than ever. But if I couldn't pick a Nintendo, I think the Rabbids announcement really surprised me a little bit. And
yeah, that was definitely surprising. I was very surprised. Sorry.
It was fun.
Yep.
It was fun. I really, it's like that's the one thing I might actually buy from Ubisoft this generation is Mario vs. Rabbids 2, because that game was so much fun, and it was such an unexpected sort of like come out of nowhere hit, and supporting those guys would be worth it. Negatives. Babylon Fall, like I mentioned, kind of sad to see that game turn into a gas. But if not that, just the whole. Well, I was gonna say like all the shitty presentations, like Gearbox and Capcom, and the end of Square Enix. But yeah, we'll just put the Final Fantasy representation at Square Enix. I'll say I was disappointed in that. Oh, the fact that they have a game coming out that people are hyped for, and they only showed 5 seconds of trailer for it. And Kagros knows what I'm talking about. It was bullshit. Bullshit.
Nani?
They put all that time into Stranger Colors, whatever that bullshit's called.
Oh!
But none for my bonus game. Fucking hell. Screw Square Enix. Screw them. Where's my World Ends With You Neo gameplay? Where's my extended trailers for that, huh?
That's okay.
Huh?
I understand. Okay, I understand you're angry, IDK, but the game's coming out next month. There's no reason for them to hype it. You're gonna have
Why wouldn't they hype it? Come on, it's right there. Why are you hyping games coming out in October and September or whatever? It's bullshit. It's blasphemy.
I mean, as the World Ends With You fan for who knows how long, right? And we literally got nothing until now. We got remakes.
It showed like 3 to 5 seconds of like CG trailer, whatever.
Okay.
Same with like 14 expansion and 16, like. And then, of course, the pixel perfect remakes for 1 through 6. And it was like, here you go! PC and mobile! Bye-bye!
It's okay. It's okay. Neo's coming. It's coming next month. We'll have it in our hands. We don't need to get hyped. The only thing you need to get hyped is the fact that it's coming. That's all you need to get hyped for. But I am disappointed that they didn't show more of Life is Strange, True Colors. But that game is also coming too. I'm not so sure about this, but do you guys know if you buy Life is Strange 2 is the remastered whatever the hell the collection, does it come with it or no? Or is it separate?
I think it's separate.
I see.
Maybe there's like a collector's edition or some.
I thought there was an ultimate bundle where like you bought you buy like, I think it's supposed to be, you buy 2 and then it also comes with the remakes. I don't know.
I'll have to look.
There's gotta be a bundle. No way they would let that go without a bundle.
All right, Juicy. What about you?
Yeah.
Highs, lows.
You know me with Dark Souls, man. Highest high has got to be, first of all, just having that end the show for Summer Games Fest. You see the trailer, you're just enamored by all the things that's showing with traversal and just all the Dark Souls, sprinkles on top of it. And then the cherry on top is seeing the release date. It's so bold. You see January of 2022. It just gets you even more hyped. And it gets you even more sad that you don't have a PS5. And then the lowest of a low is what IDK said. Like, Square Enix, to me, was the most appalling show I've ever watched. Especially with the music license not being there. There's trailers of just silence. And, like, sound effects of people punching each other. And that's it. It was the most bizarre event I've ever watched. Really disappointing, even with like the Chaos of Chaos game that they showed off at the very end. I'm not even happy about it. It looks like ass. Yeah, that's it for me for E3. But yeah, E3, there's always gonna be dreams that are gonna be fulfilled and dreams that are just gonna be dreams. But what we always learn is to never let your dreams be dreams. And just to hold on. Because Kingdom Hearts with Kyrie as the main character will come through. We're going to have Persona 5 show up on E3 2023.
No,
what other dreams do you have?
You mean Persona
6?
You mean Persona
6?
What are you talking about?
We're going to have a Persona 5 remake in 2023.
VR!
What other dreams do you have? Halo actually being good. Halo being on Smash.
My dream is that Juicy finally gets his damn PS5. Because at this point, we should call him Juicy Samples. We should be calling him Salty Samples. Because all he does is moan about how he can't get his PS5. Oh my gosh, someone get this.
Very disappointed. Send your brother a PS5, please.
Oh, Sony, we are a popular podcast. You should send us some testing units. Send us one.
Oh, you gotta sign up with that.
Where are you?
You gotta sign up with that Sony Direct. That's how you get it.
Man. But yeah, until then, we are Thumbstick Adventures. Always catch us on Twitch. every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. We don't know, but it's always on Wednesday. Rest assured. And you can always catch us on YouTube under Thumbstick Adventures. But until then, have a good night. Get off this train. We're done. We're going nowhere. Until next year.
Alright, bye guys.